to Bethan's Kitchen and Garden, and welcome back to the great grand tidy up in the greenhouse, which is taking forever. I've been emptying my pots and sieving the soil to go in the raised bed at the front, which you'll probably have seen in the last episode. And I've still got a couple of pots left to empty before I can clean all this down, which is what I plan to do today. It's a horrible old day, so I'm having to sieve the soil inside rather than outside because it's drizzling. Some of my soil is wet, so it's not going through the sieve very easily, and it's all just turning into a bit of a mission. However, I have sieved what's in here, what's in the box, this bit here, and I'm going to add some fresh multi-purpose compost to it and some perlite, and I'll also get some slow release fertilizer in here because I'm going to plant up my broccoli plants. So I'll crack on with doing that now. You don't need a huge amount of perlite, but it just helps retain the water and helps the drainage of the soil as well. If they've got big lumps, they normally break down. It's sort of the little smallish lumps that don't tend to break down, and those I put into my compost heap, and eventually over time they'll break down. Or if you end up with like that sort of a mix, sometimes I put that in the bottom of my pots instead of crocks as sort of drainage, so that's another good thing to do with them. But I'll get on with sieving this now, and I'll bring you back when it's all done and mixed up and I'm potting up the broccoli. So I've just mixed it all together, and isn't it lovely to play with sifted soil? It's really, really nice. It's a lovely feeling. It's like when you make pastry, you sort of like... Anyway, let's move on. So I have, these are broccoli rabe plants. Now, broccoli rabe are meant to be grown, I think, in 60 days. And you harvest the leaves and the florets and everything, and it should keep growing. I don't have that much luck with them. I find that they go to flower really easily. So I wouldn't actually recommend using them, but I have got the seeds, so I shall use up the seeds as and when I need some broccoli. Oh, and I just wanted to show you the difference in some plants. So there's this one here, and there's this one here. Now, I'm not going to bother potting this one on. I'm going to be brutal from now on because space is an issue, and also these were planted at the same time. This one is obviously thriving. This one is obviously struggling. So this will go straight into my compost, as will this one. I'll give all the others a fighting chance. these are all pots I've cleaned out, washed out, and they're 5 litre pots. I don't know really if that's enough for the broccoli rabe, but in theory the broccoli rabe shouldn't be in here for that long, as it's meant to grow fast. So hopefully it should be enough. So that's one down. I got another 4 to go. I'll be back when I've done the 4. Well, I had a bit of compost left over after doing the broccoli, so I thought, well, I might as well pop my lettuce and rocket into their final positions as well. I must have planted about 50 lettuce seeds and just 1 lettuce came up. It is all seed, so it was worth the risk in my eyes. So you have the 1 lettuce there. Now this soil is really wet, so it's going to be a bit of a mission to get it out. This isn't the way I would normally recommend doing it. There's your plug plant, but that's not the greatest way. Not much roots in these lettuce, rocket either. So I'll finish bedding these in and then I'll bring you back. It's been a few days since I was in here potting on my brassicas. They are all done now. I'll show you them when I've brought everything in. I've also cleaned out the greenhouse and I've put my staging up, which my parents bought me for my birthday, which is at the end of the month, but it arrived early. And I know my mum will be like, no, use it, don't wait for your birthday. So I didn't, and here it is. I'll show you a walk around in the greenhouse once I've brought the potatoes in and got everything where I want it. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put everything at the moment. So I'm going to get on with doing that, and then I'll bring you back and show you around the greenhouse. And hopefully that will be most of what I need to get done in this greenhouse done for the winter, apart from maybe sowing some mustard, mizuna and lettuce. So yeah, I better get cracking, bring those potatoes in. It's always nice to see some greenery in your greenhouse, isn't it? I've got the potatoes in now. Not all the potatoes. I've just got, these ones are Pentland Javelin, and the Charlottes, I'm not sure if they are blighted or just been susceptible to the frost, but I've left them in the other greenhouse and I'll show you them later on. So these Pentland Javelin are looking good. There is a slight bit of discoloration on the stem, and I'm not sure if that's blight because the leaves all look okay. There's no sign on the leaves, or if it was just a bit of cold damage from where they were in the smaller greenhouse. If you have any thoughts on that, then please let me know. If I just come around and start this side, because here I've got my other Pentland Javelin. There's one seed potato in these ones here. So they are looking okay as well. I've just put some string around them just to get the foliage up off the floor, and it also means then I can see how wet the soil is, and it is quite wet there. Some of them are wet, some of them are a bit dry, so I'm going to give everything a feed and a water, just a gentle water in a bit. My broccoli rab are growing really well actually since I potted them on into these bigger pots. They've definitely put on about 3 or 4 leaves since I did that. I've got 4 very healthy looking ones, and then I've got this little straggler, which I'm not sure if I'm going to keep him going, but he is putting on leaves, so it's not too bad. There's another good one back there, broccoli rab. And this is a tub of rocket, which again, that's not standing up great, so I don't know how well that's doing, to be honest. The others look okay. They look like they're settled in, but that one that's flopped over is a bit of a concern. And then in the corner, I brought my tea plant in, my Camellia sinensis tea plant. Oh, bear with me, that's my son calling. I was showing you my Camellia sinensis plant, which isn't doing too bad actually. It just come looking like that, and I have kept it going this far, so hopefully it'll be okay through the winter in here. And in the corner is my rosemary plant, which I need to take cuttings from, and then I've got a couple of mint plants, one there. These, I'm really pleased to say, were actually cuttings. There's like 5 plants in there, so I need to separate them over the winter and have new mint plants to give to people. And then I've got one more mint plant back here, and what I'm just going to do with the mint is cut off most of the foliage and put it in my freezer in some ice cube trays and use it as and when I need it. So that's my greenhouse. I'll just show you where I've put my collies and cabbages, which are in the cold frame, and then I'll take you round to the greenhouse at the front and show you what's occurring there. So here's an outdoor view of my greenhouse. I forgot to say that staging, the slats come apart, so in the summer I'll be able to grow my plants through the framework and just take away the slats, which is really great. And here's the cold frame with the collie and cabbage in it. The cauliflowers are this side. They look much happier since they've been potted on as well. This one isn't doing so good, but the other 3 are doing fine. I've got some garlic in here, but I've only just planted it today, so I don't expect to see anything there. And my cabbage plants over here, hopefully they will grow on and produce a heart, because they're growing in the pots as opposed to the ground. I'm not expecting the hearts to grow as big as they would if they were in the ground, but as long as I get some sort of cabbage and collie, I will be very happy indeed. Finally, we're on to the front greenhouse, or greenhouses I should say. I'll show you the mini one as well. Here are my Charlotte potatoes, and I pulled out a lot of the stems that had sort of rotted. I think it's rot and not blight. I think it's where they were on the floor of the greenhouse down there, and it was just a bit too cold for them. So I'm hoping that by raising them, and I've dropped this middle shelf here so that the foliage has a bit more room, that hopefully they will keep growing for me. But I didn't want to risk putting them in with the others in case they did have blight. And then in here are the carrots that I grew in pots, which need a water and a thinning out, but I haven't looked after them very well, so I don't expect too much from them. There's still absolutely loads of stuff I need to get done, but at least the greenhouse is kind of where I want it now. I need to clean out this greenhouse I'm standing in, and I also need to clean out the cold frame with my brassicas in. But those are jobs I can do as and when now. I'm just glad that I've sorted out those potatoes, because I was a bit worried. I've also got to put my garlic and broad beans into pots just to grow a couple of extra plants, and I'm not sure where they're going to go yet, but I do need to get them going. And that's it from me for today. I am so glad I've eventually got my greenhouse cleaned out, and it turned into a big blinking mission, because I seem to just never be getting to the end of getting it done. But today I have, so I'm really pleased. In fact, all I can say about that is lovely job. And thank you for watching, liking and subscribing if you have done so. And thank you for watching if you haven't liked and subscribed. Thank you very much. Bye bye.